Oh,
Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Dead Funny University. I am your host and fellow student, Kelsey, and with us today for the 23rd episode in our Zelda semester is Chris, the man that, I don't know, Chris, what pithy thing can I say about you? The man that kayaks with two coolers. Does that
there we
work?
go.
Yeah,
That works.
it's
That
applicable.
works. Twilight Princess. I believe where we left off, we talked about Orin Village, the fact that Link was a goat farmer or goat herder, I guess you should say. We talked a little bit about the Twilight place, kind of how to reach it.
Oh, yeah.
We showed what our buddy Link looked like. We looked at a couple artwork of a couple different characters. We talked about the ugly kids. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of that.
I'm so offended by the ugly kids thing.
I mean, that. Anyways, so that being said, so yeah, a quick rundown just to get back to where we were at. So we started out. Link is getting close to Russell, which was the guy that had the sword. And the reason why we're doing this, Kelsey went on vacation. We've been away from DFU for a while, so this is good for everybody. So Link sat down with Russell. Russell's the guy with the sword. He's basically like the town leader, not the actual mayor, but the town leader. And he does all the errands from the town to Hyrule Castle. He is supposed to be giving them a gift sword from Oron because Oron's supposed to make the best weapons. So he is going to have Link do it, and this will be Link's official first time in this timeline to return to Hyrule, which is pretty cool. So that's something to remember. So he's supposed to take this sword and go back to Hyrule. A lot of Zelda-ish type shit happens where we're, herding goats and weird shit like that. But, it's a Zelda game. You got to do a whole bunch of unnecessary shit to get to the necessary parts of the game.
It's world building, right?
Yeah, exactly. So where we left off last, we were going to be heading to the Orange Spring. The Orange Spring is a big deal because that's usually where one of the characters likes to go. Damn it, I can't remember her name now. I got it here. Of course. Oh, yeah. No, wait, that's the mom. Never mind. Sorry, they look alike. Give me a second. Damn it. Ilia. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw some of these in here, too, because it would be a nice refresher for you as well, even though I've already sent these, but I might not have. Anyways, so Ilia is basically like the Saria of this story. So if you remember in Ocarina of Time, we had the girl with the green hair. She was kind of Link's first love, if you will.
Yes.
This is kind of like the same thing here, as far as that's concerned. So she's kind of the Saria of the story. Once again, like I said, we have Russell, who is, like I said, town leader. He's the swordsman, basically, is his trade. We have the town mayor, Bo. This is Ilia's father. Big boy with a very weird mustache, but there's Bo. The horned mustache. You have Uli, which is Russell's wife, who is also pregnant with their second child, because their first child is Colin, who is a nice little young boy who looks up to Link a lot, but in the fact that he wants to be able to learn how to ride horses. He does not like the whole battling aspect. So that he doesn't want. He makes that very clear to you.
Question.
I want to learn how to ride a horse. Go ahead.
So you said their first child, but you also said that Ilia was their child.
Uli. No. I'm sorry. Ilia is the mayor's child.
I'm
sorry.
So
Russell and Uli are the married ones.
Colin
is Russell and Uli's first kid.
Got it.
She's pregnant with the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. Ilia is the mayor's daughter. Yep.
Colin has those sad eyes, those sideways, like sad eyes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's Colin for you. And then the other three kids, who honestly, there's a couple different townspeople. I don't even know who the fuck parented, fathered, whatever. Look for the ugliest villagers in the fucking place, and you'll probably find out who their fucking parents are. But yeah, so that's we have Tallow, which is the red bandana. We have Beth, who is the girl, and Mallow is the little one.
Tallow, Mallow, and Beth?
Tallow, Mallow, and Beth.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
Tallow's got the scary, angry eyebrows that are growing out of the top of her nose. Those are, whew. She's gonna beat you with that stick. You can tell. It's not gonna be good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So you have those three. They're a pain in the ass. I mean, it's literally what they are. They do the stuff where it's all like, I'm not letting you buy a Link until you let me play with your slingshot. I'm not letting you buy a Link until you let me play with your wooden sword. Like it's those little fucks. So yeah. Anyways, so basically, like I said, quick rundown. We're supposed to be going to Hyrule the next day. We go to finish out that day after you get through goat herding. Tallow is running after monkeys with that stick. The monkeys look just like the monkeys from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. He ends up finding a lair in a tree where he gets trapped in a cage by some bubblins. Bubblins are goblins in this game, which I'll send some pictures of those here in a second when we go to talk more about them.
He's running
But we
from
got some
monkeys and he gets
bubblins.
caught by goblins.
No, he's running after monkeys.
Ah.
After them. Because this monkey always comes out and is like rearranging his stuff. And he's like, come here, you fuck. And runs after him. So yeah, gets captured. Link has to go in, save him. Epona ends up getting hurt, according to Ilia. You never really actually see the accident happen or the actual injury, but we'll take her word for it. So she gets mad at Link and takes Epona to the orange spring that we were talking about to clean Epona up and make sure she's all nice because the water is supposedly supposed to have healing properties. That is not true, but yeah. So basically, she takes Epona to the thing, that little grass that you see there, the brown thing. That's the horseshoe grass. When you pick that up and you blow into it, it summons Epona. So
interesting. So anybody can summon Epona?
Technically, by that logic, yes, but really only Link can do it. But yes, by your logic, yes, anybody should be able to pick it up, blow in the grass, summon Epona. No one does it because Link does it, but it is what it is, I guess. So yeah. So then you go and talk to her, and she, kind of forgives you because the Colin, kind of tells her what happened with the whole Tallow stuff. She didn't know about that, so she basically is like, "Look, I just want you and Epona to be safe. I know you're going to be going to Hyrule. Just make sure not to attempt to do anything out of your league. Come back safe." Which it's like, I'm fucking the hero of time. Like, what do you mean out of my league? Come on now. At that moment, there's this nice gate that is closed in front of the Orden little spring here that gets smashed in by this jackass, which is the leader of the Bubblins. And I don't remember this asshole's name, but it was some stupid like Buh or some shit like that. They don't have like actual names, but that's the leader of the Bubblins.
Like zoom in on his face, and then like he looks like his name is Buh. Like
yeah, something like that. Like I said, I don't remember. They had dumb like fucking 2-letter names. So all three of these assholes come busting in.
His legs are little like
tiny
frog legs.
Tiny little leggies.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. These assholes come busting in. I'm shutting up.
He skipped leg day for sure. Anyways, so they come busting in. The one with the club hits Link in the back of the head, knocking him unconscious. They capture Ilia and Colin and leave. So as they go to leave, Buh up there, I'm going to look up his actual name here in a second, but Buh up there pulls out his horn and blows into it. Now, what's interesting here is this is the first time you get a chance to see like a Twilight portal, if you will. But the interesting part about this is that it shows clearly that the Bubblins, Bulblins, Bulbins, Bubblins, are clearly working with the Twilly, which is weird because they're not Twilly. They're technically, even though they're bad guys, are still monsters of light, and Twilly are specifically from the dark. So that's kind of interesting. But he blows the horn. This Twilight portal appears above, and then that's it. It just kind of disappears. Link wakes up, sees that everybody's gone, gets up to go move, and takes off running towards the forest that's right next to Ordon. I think it's called Fora Woods or something like that. Starts running across this bridge, gets all the way down there, and that's when we hit one of those twilight walls that we were talking about. The only way to, go through towards the twilight plane. So you get to the twilight wall, and a dark black hand comes out, grabs Link, and pulls him into the twilight wall because he can't move past. Link then wakes up to be face to face with a shadow beast. Now, this is our first time being able to see like anything from the actual Twilight. At this point, we don't know anything about the Twilight if you're playing the game through. So we see this shadow beast, which is what pulled Link through into the Twilight. It goes to hit Link, and all of a sudden the Triforce glows on Link's hand, showing that he's, part of that. And the light hurts the monster, which then drops Link. Link then starts to yell and scream, and the reasons why is because Link then starts to transform. It can't make, basically all light humans lose their form and become spirits, but because of the Triforce, instead of it just turning him into basically a useless spirit, it turned him into a twilight beast, which then was the birth of Wolf Link. Yep.
Okay, Wolf Link is awesome.
Right? He looks cool as shit.
He does.
I've got some more too. But yeah, so we've got Wolf Link. This was the first time we've ever done something like this, besides obviously with Majora's Mask transforming into different races. First time we transformed into like an animal. So you were full on wolf. Like you lose all your other shit. You were literally a wolf. You fight, biting people, jumping on people, hitting them with your tail, stuff like that. Like you were full on a wolf. Which now the cover of the game probably makes a little bit more sense, where it had Link and the wolf back to back. Yeah, exactly. So that is Link's Twilight Beast form, if you will.
Awesome.
So we get transformed into the wolf, but we pass out. The monster then grabs Link and carries him off. Link wakes up in a dungeon, which is why you see the shackle with the chain on his left paw there. He wakes up and he's shackled. He looks forward and we see another Twilly, but this Twilly isn't actually attacking us, and they look completely different than what we ran into before. And the reasons why is that this Twilly isn't necessarily bad, I guess I should say. Not necessarily evil, necessarily bad. They're not evil. So this is Midna is her name. Midna. Midna.
I like her.
This is our Navi. This is our Navi of this game. We have no fairy this game. This is our Navi.
She seems impish, and I like her.
Yes, she is very impish. Yep, she's very sassy at the beginning when she doesn't trust Link. She's very much you're going to do what I tell you to do, and maybe I'll help you because you don't know what the fuck's going on. So yeah, so basically this is pretty much how you spend probably about 65% of the game is you running with Navi, or not Navi, Midna, riding your back.
I mean, great game. Can I play as Midna?
Technically you do, because all your attacks are normally her. So like her hair could turn into like this fucking demonic arm and shit, and can attack with it and stuff like that. But not her specifically. Now, we're about to come up to a point, which we won't talk about this episode, but there's a point in this game that was so epic and so amazing. It inspired Nintendo to make a game called Hyrule Warriors. Maybe you've heard of it, probably not. But Hyrule Warriors is not a canon Zelda game. It is basically a game where you can fight hundreds and hundreds of enemies, kind of a break off of an old game called I don't think it was called what was it called? No, it's Ninja something. I don't think it was Ninja Warriors. Anyway, something like that, where basically you're one fucking person, you go out to armies of fucking people and you just fuck them up. Like you obviously have superpowers, they're normal fucking people. So like the Bubblins, for instance, are like you'll have like 500 Bubblins coming at you and you're fucking Link and you get to go out there and just wreck ass. Like it's great. Right? That you can play as Midna.
Mhm.
You can choose her as a playable character. So it gives you a chance to play other people in the game. You can be Zelda. You can be Fierce Link, for instance. You can be Young Link and stuff like that. Like Link from Majora's Mask, where he actually has like the Keaton mask here. And I think he's like spinning the Deku mask in his hand. And like he can actually pull the mask out, transform, and use those powers to fight. So it's basically just like an endless fighting game. And I think the second one's actually multiplayer, which is pretty cool too. So, like I said, not a canon game, but it was inspired from this game, which is pretty cool. When we'll get to that point, it won't be this episode, but we'll get to that point. So, yeah, so that you'd be able to play Minda. But anyways, so Midna, she basically is like, I could use you. Oh, I forgot to send this too. So someone actually did artwork of what Fierce Link would look like in wolf form, and I like
Oh,
how they did his tail,
cool.
how it spins like
Yes.
the fairy sword.
I was just
Yeah,
about to
it's
say
pretty cool.
that.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in the game, but yeah.
It'd be cool.
So is what it is. There's a lot of people that got turned off by the fact of Link turning into a wolf. This was like a stopping point for a lot of people as far as playing through this game.
Huh.
So yeah,
Why?
like I said, this game is not just the fact that it's not Link. Like you're like, I'm not fucking running around with my sword and shield. This isn't like an actual fun game anymore for me type deal. A lot of people didn't like it. I had no issues with it. I mean, I wasn't necessarily like, whenever it happened, I wasn't like, oh, cool, now I get to be a wolf now. It was like, all right, cool, when do I get to be Link again? But I stuck it through because I'm a Zelda fan. Anyway, so yeah, it is what it is. This game, once again, literally was built off of Ocarina of Time, was made to feel and play like Ocarina of Time, which was a 10 out of 10 game, like rated 10 out of 10 game. Very few games have ever gotten that rating.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, inspired an entire video game series, Hyrule Warriors, because there's two of them now, so you can call it a series now. Entire series off of one scene. Literally one scene in this game was like, oh shit, we need to make a video game series off of this. And a lot of people play Hyrule Warriors. Like a lot of fucking people play Hyrule Warriors. So it's like, I don't know why this game gets as much hate as it does, besides the transformation. Other than that, I can't see anything else where people will be like, oh, this game sucks, because it literally is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There's literally nothing wrong with it. So I can see the transformation being upsetting, but to put down the controller, I don't see that.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah. So basically, Midna gets in the jail cell with you because she can fucking, like, she turns herself into bubbles and then just goes through the bars and then brings herself back together. And she's like, yeah, she's got all sorts of kinds of fucking crazy magic.
All right. Freaking love Midna. She's my favorite.
So she starts talking to you and she's all like, hey, you should help me out. And she's like, of course you will, because you're a human and you're very obedient. And Link kind of gets upset about that. So he like chomps at her and she goes, oh, no, don't bite. She's like, if you want me to help you, you got to play nice. And she goes, so you'll be my servant. She's like, which means you'll have to do everything I say. So if you do everything I say, then maybe I can help you understand where you're at and what you need to do to get out of here. She's like, you want to save your friends, don't you? So like she saw that happen. So Link kind of, does the whole sitting down thing. So she does this like magic spell where it like automatically breaks one of the links in his fucking chain so he can move. Then she bubbles her ass back through the bars. And she's all like, not gonna help you every step of the way. You have to be able to do things on your own. She's all like, if you're just dumb, there's no use for me to have you. She's like, so find a way to get out on your own. And so basically you break this box and it's like this dirt pit that Link can dig enough out to get down and around to get out of the cage, whatever. So you get out, she gets on your back. She's like, all right. She's like, I'm starting to trust you a little bit more. Ahead, I got something I want to show you. So you start running and you come out, and the first thing you notice is that like the dungeon you're in is a castle. You're like, oh shit, we got this big ass castle. So you get out and you're walking on these castle walls and you're trying to get to this tower. She tells you got to get to this tower. So you get to this tower, you go in, and she brings you to a confidant of hers, which is this person right here in a nice cloak where you can't see their face. And you start talking to them and trying to figure out what's going on.
Is it Zelda?
So I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I guess we'll have to find out when we get there.
It's Zelda.
But they start telling you basically where you're at and what happened has happened. So you are right. It is Zelda.
Yay!
Because you literally find out as soon as the story's done.
Okay.
Takes her hood off. So, Yeah, I'm not spoiling like end of the game shit for you. Like she literally takes her hood off like as soon as she gets done with the story that I'm about to fucking go into.
I'm so
She's all
glad she
like,
took the
"Oh,
drama of
and by the way,
keeping it on for the story.
yeah, for sure." And then she stands up and she's like, "I'm Zelda." All right. Anyways, so Hooded Zelda tells us a story. So obviously at this point, you know that the castle that you're in is Hyrule Castle, but you're in the Twilight, so that's where it doesn't make sense. So she goes to tell you what happened. So basically, it does this pretty decent cutscene where you see her. She's got a sword out, and she's got I think like 6, maybe 8 guards around her, and the doors come busting open, and you just see all this just black smoke come rushing through, and then you see a whole bunch of those shadow beasts come rushing in. The warriors run out to go attack them, get taken out easily. These warriors suck. This is Zelda's guard. She needs a new fucking guard for sure. So yeah. And then in walks for the first time a new enemy. His name is Zat. I believe it's. God dang it! I had all their names for the rename of this, and then I renamed them all the numbers so that way I could easily grab the ones that I wanted. And I forgot that also Zant is his name. Zant. I was forgetting the N. Zant. So this is Zant, which is a first-time villain for us, and he is the king of the Twilight. So he is who rules over the Twilight realm, and he has now come to take over the Light world, so that way they're not just banished to the Twilight realm. So he comes walking in, and he says, "You have 2 options, Zelda." Either, and it's just her and like 2 guards left. He's like, "You can either die here, or you can surrender." And you see her like tighten up her grip, like, "I'm not obviously going to surrender."
Yeah, no.
And he goes, "Obviously, I should say this better. This question isn't just for you. This question is for your people. You surrender here, you all go to the Twilight. You die here, I kill everybody." So then she drops her sword. And he sticks with his word, turns all of Hyrule into the Twilight. The people are still alive, but here's where it's different. They're transformed into a spirit form. So
No.
basically, they don't know what's happening, and they're
Mhm.
now in this like spirit form, shrouded in darkness, and they don't know where they are, where they're at, what's going on, anything. So it's not the best life to live, but it's still life. So at that point, Zelda's like, "What do I do here? You know, I'm
Yeah.
clearly outnumbered. I could have fought, but at the same time, if I die, then he's going to kill everybody."
Yeah.
So she did what she should have done. That's very smart on her part. Did what she did. I respect the game for him saying the question the way he did, and then it to show someone like Zelda, who we've actually seen fight a long Link against Ganon versus just I'm the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
For her to tighten her grip like that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
2, let me rephrase that. I will kill everybody if you fell here. And then her making the right decision as a leader and
Yes.
queen of Hyrule to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. So I really appreciated that scene.
When the choice is just
Because
you,
Zelda's
it's different
badass.
than when your failure means everyone's
Death to
gone.
everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
So
not
I
that
really
confident.
appreciated that they did that. All right, exactly. I really appreciate that they did the scene that way. That was pretty cool. So basically they banished the entire thing. Now, once again, the Triforce keeps her from losing her spirit. The reason why she doesn't transform is because it was done differently. Whenever Link was transformed, he was transformed due to like the whole like beast energy and shit like that. He got transformed to that versus just switching into a spirit form where she gets to keep her form, which I feel is kind of bullshit. But hey, whatever. I had no problems with Wolf of Link. It was weird at first, but then I was like, okay, I can get used to it. So it wasn't that bad. What was annoying is, like I said, Midna is the new Navi. So whenever you're playing this was the first Zelda game to come out on the Wii. So you hear her come out of that speaker in the Wiimote all the fucking time. Instead of the, "Hey, listen," it's fucking Midna going, "Ah," and shit like that. And it's like, what do you want? Just let me play. Anyways.
Oh.
So
Love
then
it.
he basically turns all of Hyrule Castle. So basically, what's happening is that there are 4 Guardians of Light, and we're going to get to one of those right here when we get a little bit closer to the end here. There are 4 Guardians of Light, Zant is sending these shadow beasts to go kill the Guardians of Light, or at least steal their light. So it would be more steal their light. So they're going to go steal the light from these beasts. When they do that, Zant is then able to transform that whole region into twilight.
Okay.
So that way, that's how that kind of makes sense. So basically, at this point, all of it's been hit besides Orin. That town and the surrounding forest around it and stuff like that, not where Link got transformed, because that was in the Twilight. Everything outside of that, they hadn't gotten to that light guardian yet. Anyways, so that's how all this is happening. They're taking out the light guardian, so that way there will be no more light. It will just be Twilight, and then they'll be able to rule both dimensions. So Minda or Zelda's like, okay, time is running short. The guard's going to be coming back. I need you to leave so he doesn't see you. Midna will help you. And so you go to leave, you jump through the window you came out, so the guard doesn't see you. And Midna then turns herself into Colin and Ilia and do this whole, like, don't forget, you got to come save us type deal. And she's all like, so I'll help you get out of here for now. She's all like, but you still have to prove your worth to me because I want stuff from you. So she teleports Link out. He goes through that tunnel again, comes back out, and he's still a wolf. In the normal world, he is still a wolf. So, and she brings that up. She goes, oh, you thought you would transform to your normal form. Well, that's not how that works. She goes, now I do know how to get you to that, but once again, you have to help me out. So if you want to start, I need a sword and a shield if I'm going to be out here in this world. Because at first she's just kind of coming out as your shadow before actually putting her full form in that world to kind of keep herself safe. So you go back to Orin, and basically all the townsfolk know that the children are missing. Like, oh shit, what happened? Everybody's in, a fucking crazy running around.
Yeah.
And Russell, the swordsman, the leader of the town, if you will, got his ass kicked. So the mayor's like, well, we need to go get that shield out of so-and-so's house. So there's your shield. So now you got to jump up to this house, go through the window in the storage space. You see the shield, grab the shield, leave with it. Which it's funny because it's the shield of Orin. And Minda's all like, well, that looks like a cheap shield, but I guess it will have to do. And there's the orange shield. Obviously, it's just made out of wood. So, I get where she's coming from. And so then Link remembers that the sword is still at Russell's house that you were supposed to take the next morning to Hyrule Castle. So you go to Russell's house, you get the sword. So here's the orange sword. And this is the one that you were going to take to Hyrule Castle. So you get that sword as well. So now you've got this sword and shield. And it's funny because it goes into this cutscene where you're walking and Minda has like the shield connected to her face. And she's got the sword out and she's all like, how do you fight with these things? And she's like just swinging it randomly back and forth while she's riding on Link. And Link's just got his head down, like looking back at her, like, could you fucking not, please? And she goes, these are useless to me. And she throws them on the ground. She goes, but I guess I'll store them for you. And she snaps her fingers and then they kind of like just disappear in some secret, inventory she has. So basically that's your weapons when you're Link. Duh. So you're running back to where you originally got transformed, right across the bridge from the spring. Whenever you hear a voice call out to you and it's like, hey, come over here. And it's coming from, once again, the Oron Spring. So you go over there and all of a sudden these 4 like pillars drop down from the sky. They're like these rock with red lines running through them. They're from the Twilight. And you hear the voice say, one of the dark beasts are approaching. So then drops one of the shadow beasts. You have to fight it. You fight it, take it out. The pillars shatter. And then out comes our first Guardian of Light. And this Guardian of Light's name is Orna. Yeah. Orin and Orna. Yeah. So Orin is the name of the town. Orna is the name of the light guardian that guards it. This is why Orin hadn't turned into or Oron hadn't turned into Twilight yet, because that beast was the one that was tasked to come get this light, and it was waiting for it to show itself so it could come get the light. You killed it, so it didn't happen. So it tells you the whole story that I just said about how all these beasts are getting taken out, and that's the reason why they're losing their light and the twilight are being able to take over. So you have to go kill the shadow beasts and restore the light to each one. It does tell you that if you do this in the region where you lost your form, that's how you get your form back. So you have to go across the bridge into the forest, figure out where that light beast is, kill the shadow beast, and then get your form back. You actually do get human Link back very early in the game, but you're able to switch back and forth between the two.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So then it becomes like another, weapon to tools or to Link's tool belt, if you
Yeah.
will. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and then you cross the bridge and you head back into the forest of where you originally got turned, and that is where we will end this. But I did have two cool little artwork pictures that I'm gonna throw in here. There's no spoilers in there, but two little cool artwork pictures that I thought were really cool. The one that I want to point out is the first one with that skeleton warrior. That's that Link from that theory that I told you about, where they say that that's like Link's original dad,
Yeah.
like the Link that died. Yeah, that's who that's supposed to be, because you have like this whole like dream of you're fighting this guy with a sword, and like you also learn how to start wielding the sword shit again. It just comes back to you, and it's like you always had this. I'm here to make sure that you understand that. So it's like the original, or the original hero of time, basically.
Oh, neat. And he shows up in the
But like I
second
said,
one as well. I see.
yeah. So
And
it's
then,
like yeah, it's like a second, or it's like a theory. It's never been completely confirmed, but it's basically a theory. But yeah.
okay, so in the second one that I'm looking at here, so I see Link and Epona and then Link and Midna in there. It looks like that line right there is the line between Twilight
And
and
we're out. Yep.
the real world. And so who's on the other side of Zelda?
That we can't talk about yet.
Okay.
And that's why I said it won't be a spoiler, because obviously you have no idea who it is. So you have not
And
met them. You see
Ganondorf?
you see the Shadow Beast, and you see Ganondorf.
Okay.
Now I did hint earlier that Ganondorf was going to be back. We haven't gotten to him yet.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool is that this game kind of helps wrap up what really kind of happened with Ganondorf after the events of Ocarina of Time, because you beat him, but Zelda reverted time. So then what happened to Ganondorf?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This game goes in a little bit more about how those events took place and why we have Ganondorf back, because that is the exact same Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time.
Okay. Man, I'm excited to see the rest of this. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching this particular episode of Dead Funny University. If you enjoyed this content, like, subscribe. You hear me say this every time. It's genuinely helpful, mostly if you comment. When you come and you tell me in real life, hey, Kelsey, I watched your content. It was great. That's great. And I really appreciate it. Genuinely, I do. But telling me in a comment is 10,000% more valuable to me, because that's how YouTube's like, oh, hey, people like this stuff. Maybe I'll suggest it to someone else. When you go and tell Chris in person or on stream, hey, we thought this was funny, great, put it in the comments. Like the way other people are going to enjoy this, the way that we're going to be able to get more resources to do what we enjoy doing and do what you enjoy watching us do, is by making those comments. Like, seriously, super helpful. Or there's also the merch link down below, so don't forget about that either. But either way, we will see you in the next episode of Dead Funny University. Bye, friends.